Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Basic Photoshop Tutorials. This is episode 3. In this episode we're going to be using Photoshop for what it's originally designed for, and that's manipulating and editing photos. The last two I did were drawings and techniques in Photoshop. This particular one, again, we're going to use it for what it's originally intended to do. So the first thing we're going to do is open up a picture or a photo that we have saved. So go to Open, which is File, Open, and just find the photo amongst your browsing options. Mine happens to be on the desktop, so I'm just going to double click that and it will open automatically for you in Photoshop. And notice this is kind of a gross picture. This guy has a large pimple on his forehead. There's a hair has fallen as well, and there's some minor blemishes that just kind of scatter around his forehead here. What we're going to do in this tutorial is get rid of those blemishes without changing the integrity of the photo and keeping it realistic. So that what I'm going to do, this is not necessary, but I'm going to duplicate the original layer, which is labeled background at the moment, and this is just to show when we're finished the before and after shots. This is definitely, again, that's not necessary to do, especially if you're doing your own photos. Okay, so let's just get right to it. It's fairly simple to do. There are different techniques that you could use. You could use, for example, the clone tool, which is the stamper looking tool on the left in your toolbar there. You could use that to create what it is we want to do. However, the only problem with that is it does duplicate areas. So if you drag it along, you'll notice that the area always stays the same, and you'll get too much consistency, so it does look like you've edited the photo quite a bit. So I'm just going to back out of that. You'll notice I'm backing out. Oops, lost my layer. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to use the healing brush tool, which is the band-aid on the left toolbar. The spot healing one is not the same. It won't do what you want it to do, well, for what I want it to do. But using the healing brush tends to work a lot better. So once you've selected the healing brush and your layer 1 or your whatever it is selected, make sure that your brush size is fairly large, but not too large. Usually you make it about the size of the blemish, or maybe a little smaller. In this case, I'm just going to make it about 38, I think, is a good size to go with. So 38 pixels for that. Next thing you're going to do is to click on the Alt button. For you Mac users, I believe that's Command. So just click the Alt button and choose an area relatively close to your blemish. And you'll notice when you do click Alt, it changes to what looks like a crosshair. And all that's doing is it's selecting the area around or wherever that crosshair is, and hence the crosshair. So it's pinpointing an area that you will be using to copy over top of your blemish. So we're going to go ahead again, and we're going to hit Alt, and then just left click, and then release. And now you've selected that area. So now wherever you draw, that area will be used as your new for your new image. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So once you have that area selected, just click once. Don't drag. It doesn't tend to work as good if you drag. And you'll notice that the blemish is gone right away. But it does kind of look a little fake, and there does seem to be some repeating aspects to it. So just choose another area on the other side, or still fairly close. And again, we're just going to Alt and left click, and that'll bring back the area of where we want it to be. So if you just continue to click once and just play around with it until you have something that looks pretty good, click some different areas, maybe bring in some of the colors up top of the forehead here. It doesn't really matter, but as long as you sort of just play around with it, get a handle for it, get a feel for it. So it looks pretty good. Let's just back that up there. That looks pretty good. What you want to do is you want to keep this side on the left side of his face is obviously a shinier side than the matted side on the right side of his face. So you want to keep the consistency. I don't want to take a section of the shiny side and put it on the matted side. Obviously it doesn't work. Okay, so now that that part is pretty much removed, we don't want to overdo it. We want to keep it realistic, And again, just keep playing around until you find that you think that looks fairly good. Next thing we're going to do is you're going to get rid of the hair. It's done exactly the same way. And again, just take the area around that particular object that you're looking to remove and just click once. If you drag, it still works, but it does tend to look a little fake and repetitive. So there's some minor blemishes over here. We're just going to continue on, do the same thing, get rid of whatever you like. Okay, let's continue on here and get rid of that. It doesn't matter where you go. What the healing brush does is the area that you choose, it'll overtop, or it'll put that area over top of where you're clicking, and then sort of blend it so it matches where you've clicked. It's a fine way to get rid of blemishes or other. It's not very good to get rid of an entire object. That tends to, it won't work, and I'll show you what I mean. Is if you click down here, say we're trying to get rid of some of this eyebrow, and you just want to use that, you use the skin above to get rid of that eyebrow. You'll notice that the eyebrow does go away, but it still keeps a bit of the darkness that was there, so that it does tend to only work for smaller areas. Okay, so we've pretty much done what we needed to. We've gotten rid of the blemishes. It looks pretty realistic. The skin looks a lot better than it did beforehand, and you can even get rid of some of these wrinkles, but I want to leave those in. That keeps it realistic. And the final thing I like to do, this again is definitely not necessary, but it sort of blends your object a lot better. I usually like to take the blur tool, which is on the left. It looks like a drop of water. Take the blur tool and make your brush fairly large. See how big mine is. It pretty much encompasses at least 40% of the screen, I'd say. And just click once over top of where you've done all your work, and it sort of just blends it back in. If you don't want to overdo it because it'll blur your photo too much, but it just blends your brush strokes and anything else that you've done in your photo. So that's pretty much that. We'll show you the before and after. So obviously here is the after, and there's the before. You know, this is a big difference in the two photos. So again, it's pretty simple. You just take your healing brush and you click the area near where you want to get rid of the blemish or whatever it is, and you just go ahead and play around with it. Like I said, just dab it, don't drag it, and everything should work out. So thanks again for tuning in, and of course look for more episodes to come. So make sure you subscribe and rate, and of course comment. Thank you.